Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. Got a good video for you today. I got a video that was requested by a lot of people is, what were the humbling times, or when were the good times in prison? And we're gonna get into that here in a minute. Before I get started, please check me out on YouTube member programs, Patreon, Discord. Check our merch out, check my book, Gangster Redemption. Great ride. Pretty wild book. Everybody loves it, and I'm glad about that because it's changing lives as well. Now, let me get into this. I really thought a lot about this question, and the question was, there were some different times you had. Some, I won't say good times. But they did say the fun times. The those were the words we used, and believe it or not, there were some, and it made me start thinking and smiling about some of the times I had in prison and with some of the people I had in prison. Not every day is a mega stress crazy day. Yes, you gotta act right. Yes, you gotta do the right thing. Yes, you gotta watch your back. Yes, you gotta watch what the guards are gonna do to you besides the people themselves. You gotta watch what everybody's about in this whole game. It's just the way it is. You have to do that. And in this game of prison, but there are good times. And when I say good times, I mean, I'm going to explain the times now. And I'm going to try to keep the negative out of it because, sometimes good times bring a bad memory back to me. Like when we had a great time and then somebody got thrown in a hole and was killed in a hole. And that happened to a friend of mine. He was stupid. He got caught doing stupid things with wine and getting riled. And he got caught with a knife. And he goes to the hole. But he never gets out of the hole. He dies. He gets killed in the hole. So that's a bad memory. But I'm going to try to wipe those out of my head here and give you the good stuff in prison. Now I'm going to go kind of prison to prison. I think that makes it easier. There's such emotional highs and lows in prison. You start going crazy. You really, really do. The highs and lows are so extreme. I'm wondering, there's not more sickness and not more health. But a lot of the guys are young. They're in their 30s. They're in their 40s. Yes, 50s. Still young. They have people who have health problems go to either Butner, North Carolina has a medical facility. Springfield, Missouri has a medical facility. There's another one on the California side. So there is areas where you can go and get medical care, and they have medical units. People asked today when I was doing the show, they says, what happens to people in prison? And I'm going to get into this one at another time, disability stuff of that nature. But I'm going to go into the good times, like I said, and I'm going to try to keep this in the good times. When I was in Atlanta, we had a buddy who was the acid king of fucking the prison system. He went away, and he ended up getting a pardon. But he ended up having a life sentence for acid, and one of the greatest guys in the world. He used to play became one of the best handball players in prison. But he used to get the acid, and so we had so much fun on fucking acid. I have to say, and I'm not pushing drugs on anybody. I'll never will. I'm not a big druggie or anything like that. I believe in them. I might partake every now and then or whatever I do. But I'm very responsible, number one. I don't believe in being irresponsible in anything. And if you can't control something in life, whoever you are, you need to fucking check yourself and figure out why and everything else that goes along with that. Well, anyway, just keeping going. When we used to get the acid, and we used to know when we get an acid in, I knew for that night, that day, I made sure everything was good. I had batteries, I had whatever liquids I wanted. You fill your jugs up. You have sodas you're allowed to buy, stuff like that. And when I did acid, I never wanted to drink because we used to drink a lot too. But no, I wanted to just enjoy it and really fucking go what they call space cadet and get out of there. One of the nights I remember taking, you take normally one hit of acid, and you can, when you're not used to it, you can see the walls go moving and colors start doing things. If you do this with your hand, it's like a vape trail goes behind it. Well, we used to do it at about 10 o'clock. Lockdown was 10 o'clock. So we used to do it about 9:30, so it's not even hitting you, just getting to hit you when they're locking you down. Now, usually you're sitting on or standing on the tier, And if you took it early, even let's say you took it at 9, a quarter after 9, it's just going to hit you. Take a little bit to hit you. You leave it on your tongue. And when the guard's coming around, you're just about fucked up. I remember many times, and he's coming down the tier to lock them, because they lock them, they call it themselves. There's no electronic lock. It's called turnkeys. So they come around, and as they come, you get in your cell and you go. And they have to know you're fucked up. Because you're sitting there, doing whatever you do with the acid, and they got to know everybody's fucked up in the place. And it's funny, because a lot of people are. Well, there's one time I took 4 hits. I know you're thinking, fucking Larry, you're crazy. Yeah, when you're in Atlanta, and this is in the beginning of my bid, I went in 1996. I got out in 2007. So this is 1997. So I took 4 hits, 4 of acid. Now, when I did acid, I used to have to put headphones on, and I used to listen to music. And when you want to hear music, and you put them, that's why the Grateful Dead, everybody followed them now, and you could hear every guitar note. You could hear every little piece of music. It blows you away. And you're sitting in there. When I tell you, now if your celly's up there and he's not getting tripping, that's okay, he's already in bed. You're tripping. You got your headphones on. You are fucking blasting music. That's why you need batteries. You never want to run out. And you'd be up there for 5 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. You're going 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And you're just fucking coming down. And I know girls don't think I'm a weirdo or anything. When a guy masturbates, coming down from that, it's like the best feeling in the world. Ever in the world. And I know that's a hard thing for me to say, but you guys know me. I just tell it like it is. I don't mean anything in a bad way. It is what it is. Everybody knows my story, and everybody knows how open and easy I am about all that. So anyway, freaking unbelievable. You masturbate, and it feels like your whole body is coming through you, because it's a nerve drug to begin with. Acid's a nerve drug. So acid would take you into a place that you've never been. Well, when I did those 4 hits of acid, I'm being honest, I literally, and I know you guys say, how can this literally? You're right, literally. Obviously, it's not physically, but it's in my head. I floated out of Atlanta, and I saw Atlanta from the sky, looking down. I know you're thinking, fucking Larry's crazy. He was tripping. Yes, I was. But it was amazing. It was a feeling like I floated above the prison. I know it's crazy, but you want to know good times I had. That was a time that it was like, people would say, wow, how can you do acid in prison? Does that make you go crazy? Have you seen people have bad trips? I have. And again, drugs are for fun, enhancing. If I thought anybody had a bad disposition or anything like that, I wouldn't be around them with any drug. I really wouldn't, because I don't think that's what it's about. It's about enjoying it. It's about totally embracing it, and it's about letting go and letting the mind go. I'm a big mind guy, and feeling that feeling to this day. I'm 60 years old, and that was when I was about 36 years old, let's call it, and I remember it vividly. And it was one of the funner times I had on acid, or even on drugs, or not on drugs, in prison. And, and that was Atlanta. I did enough of that there. I went out in the softball. That's the field that I played against King in the Court and lost. King in the Court make you look stupid. They're a softball team, 4 people. Eddie Feiner would travel around the country, and they'd beat the shit out of anybody that played against them, strike you out from second base, mess with your head. They were amazing. They'd throw it between their legs and strike you out. They were so fast you couldn't see the ball. I remember them faking that they threw it. The guy swings because he already been hit twice with 2 strikes, and now he thinks the ball came, and then everybody screams, and the catcher goes like that. And he throws the ball back, and the guy just thinks he didn't see the ball. Amazing. You'd laugh for days and weeks. And I mentioned that during watching when the basketball player went into prison, when I went with Eddie Feiner. That was Atlanta. Now, Atlanta had the extremes, because then you'd see lockdowns, you'd see the stabbings, and you'd see the bad shit. But you also seen convicts. I don't know if that's going to make sense to you. You know, you didn't have the crybabies. You didn't have the people that were bitching about every little thing. Listen, we were in prison, and we were in a rough prison. And you took the little things that happened with you, and you smiled with them. I told you I went to a wedding in prison in Atlanta. And you know what? I know you're thinking, what the fuck, Larry? Oh, this is weird and shit. Listen, what's weird to you might not be weird to somebody else. Always remember that. And your way isn't always the right way. Or there is no right way, maybe. You know, I try to tell this to as many people as I can. You know, don't live your life for others. Don't change who you are for other people. Because if you do, you're going to always be going around life trying to please that person or whoever that is and everything like that. And you're never gonna. You know, because there's always going to be somebody else going to have their view that what's right or wrong. And if you keep changing your view, you're going to have a hard time in life enjoying yourself. Because you're going to be trying to please everybody else. And you're going to be a failure. Because you can't do that. You can't please everybody. Make sure you're a decent person. Make sure you are who you are. I don't care what that is. Make sure you're a decent person. Treat others with respect. You know, when you see bullying or you do something, comfort somebody. You know, try to help somebody. Open the doors. Talk to them. Listen, everybody has a story. Everybody has issues. That's life, everybody. But don't try to please other people. You know, and I did that in prison. That's why I didn't let anything bother me. Like, oh, you shouldn't be with these people or you shouldn't be seen with this person. To this day, that sickens me because, listen, we're all individuals. We all are just passing through this crazy world we're in. Live your fucking life, man. And I did that in prison. So now I'm going to go to a next prison. When I was transferred out of Atlanta, I was transferred to Coleman Prison. Coleman, Florida. Closer to home. A medium security prison. I go, oh, this is going to be fucking my place. I'm in a medium security prison. This is going to be a great time. I mean, how can I love it? I'm only, my parents lived up in Palm Bay, and the prison was probably 2 hours away, maybe a little more, so it's close. They could come see me, and my dad did. My dad visited me in so many prisons, man. My dad and I were this close. And so anyway, my dad used to visit me. My mom, too. Not as much. She used to be home with whatever she was doing. She worked at that time, actually. But my dad retired. But anyway, so here I was in Coleman. I get transferred. I go from a zoo to a brand new facility in the Central Florida. And I thought I'd look around like, wow, this place is fucking unbelievable. I went from a place that was built in 1903 to a place that was built brand new, probably 95, 96. And here it is, 2000, maybe 97 it was built, or whatever the hell it was. I had a buddy of mine named Frankie. Now, Frankie worked in the kitchen. Frankie was a hustler, New Yorker. We clicked, of course. There was a bunch of guys there I got to know. And not only did I got to know, some of the guys even knew my reputation from Atlanta. So when I came to Atlanta, I got to know them pretty good and stuff like that. So here we are in Coleman, and what do? I start getting myself set up. I ended up getting Frankie as my cook. I don't think I barely for like a month never went to the kitchen. But Frankie was one of the head cooks, and then he worked in the officers' mess, and I got to eat like a fucking king. I'd pay him. I had him on contract. I know it sounds crazy. I had also someone on contract to do my laundry. I had someone on contract to take care of my cell. I know that's fucking being spoiled. But again, here Larry comes and he becomes a hustler. And, you know, the fun times were having the baseball team. I'm going to show you a picture of these are shirts. I had these made. I paid for these shirts for my whole softball team. We had a softball league in there, and it was pretty good. And I was the manager and the coach of this softball team. And it got pretty hairy. You'd be betting big money on these games and doing crazy shit on these games. But I had to get my whole team the best I could find, the guys I could find, and bought them all shirts. They had their own shorts. Everybody loved baseball or softball on the compound. And it got so much fun. I had a guy named Billy. Now, Billy was an older guy. Now, Billy, well, older. At that time, he's probably in his mid-50s. And Billy had some fucking, I won't say mental issues, but they had him on Thorazine and all this shit. Now, Billy had, I think, if he did not have life, he had like 70 years, 80 years. He was a mega bank robber. He used to tell me the stories how he did it. He would go into the bank. He would talk, say, hey, listen, show them a check for like $100 grand. It's all bullshit check, but $100 grand. He goes, can I speak to the manager? I want to deposit this and do some stuff. Now they take him in the back, and he's in a tie and everything in the check. Now he's in the back with a briefcase, and he's opening, and he's talking to the manager of the bank. So then when the bank gets a little comfortable, he opens up his briefcase, and he shows the manager a bomb. A fucking bomb with a ticker. It says, if you move or say something, I'm just going to click this button, and we'll all go to fucking meet our makers. And this is what I want you to do. And he would make the manager go get fucking 200,000, 150,000. He did this a lot. It was a pretty good move. Then he would leave the briefcase there for purposes of it'd take him a long time. They'd have to evacuate the bank and everything else before they're looking for anybody. They couldn't move until a bomb squad got there, told them what to do, everything. So, but he ended up getting a heavy sentence for all this. So he did this multiple times. Well, Billy, he had no life, and I always help people, and I always feel bad for people. Even back then, I did that, everybody. So I made Billy our mascot. Billy was like our rooter mascot, got him a shirt. And I'm going to show you a picture. He's going to be in here. And I tell you guys, I had so much fucking fun doing that. It was just that. Those are the times that I remember that the time flew. There was a time in Coleman, too, that I thought I was a genius, I had money and I bought some stocks. I ended up not understanding stocks because I'm a moron. And what do? I buy this company called Advanced Radio. And I think it was like $12. Very cheap. I ended up buying $12,000 worth. There was 1,000 shares. And I had this stock, and I'm thinking, I'm going to be rich and all this. Now, I'm watching it when I'm on the yard. We had guys who'd watch the TVs, the tickers, and all this shit. And I'm watching it. It's going to 15 to 18 to 20 to $23. And I'm thinking, wow, look at this. When I get out of prison, I'm going to be the next Microsoft. If you put $1,000, when Microsoft first started, you'd be like worth 50 million right now. Like 50 million. Crazy number. So I thought, I'll just leave it there, and it'll be the next Microsoft, and I'm gonna be fucking rich when I get out and all that. I go to the hole. No access to the hole, but I used to get to Florida today. But I used to come about 2 or 3 days later, but I used to get it anyway. And at the time, I was under investigation for something in the hole, and the stock is starting to go down. And now it went all the way to $47, $48, and I bought it at $12, and I'm thinking, oh my God. Now, I'm not smart enough to know to put what they call a stop-loss order on it. I'm not smart enough to do this shit. So sure enough, what does Larry do? He fucking just is in the hole, can't make a phone call, then the stock's dropping and it's dropping hard. Now, if I knew anything like I would know today, I would have put what they call a stop-loss order on it. And so it goes somewhere, let's say it goes to 20. You put a stop-loss 18. So if it goes below 18, it automatically sells. So if it's at $30 and you put the stop-loss at 20, 25, and you paid 12, when it hits that number, you're going to make money, and that's the end of it. You got your money. I don't know. I'm not that smart. I can tell you that. I fucked that whole damn thing up pretty good. And so sure enough, what does Larry do? He fucking goes to the hole. I'm in the hole for 2 months or some odd investigation. I got out, and the thing is worth $3 or $4. I just left it there. To end up, the company goes bankrupt. I lose everything because I don't even understand. I had common stock. I didn't have what they call preferred stock. So there's so much shit I learned, but I didn't have the money to learn. I was lucky. I had a few bucks at that time, and I was getting my pension and everything else, so that helped me. But I had the good times in Coleman, obviously, until a guy named Figueroa, lieutenant there. I was running bookmaking. I had a few little hustles. Nothing major. Nobody's getting hurt. It's a lot of fun. And sure enough, Lieutenant, I get called up, said, Lawton, you're going to the hole. What the fuck did I do? I'm going to the hole. This is Figueroa, under investigation. For what? Well, you're running things around here. What the fuck do you mean I'm running things? I'm like, hello? I'm running things? Let me just tell you something. Those are the 2 quick good times or times I had in prison. And there are others. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, there's a lot of other things that go on in prison, from going to weddings to, seeing some crazy shit and and hearing some stories from guys, and you know, some of these are making me smile inside right now, which, you know, I don't want anybody to ever believe that it was easy or I would give up, you know, something for those good times. No, those were survival modes for us. I still in contact with some good people in prison, even Massey, the guard, and of course Paul Tellini, my brother, a couple of others I've heard from, and I'm, you know, happy they're doing well, and I hope they keep doing well. I've had Tellini on. I'll probably bring a few more on. I think it's important to show that people can change. There's so many more. I can get into a video that'll be too long. But I'm going to close, and I want you to think that there are positive things that go on in prison. Is the system fucked up? Absolutely. The system is broke. Don't forget that. Don't forget that for 1 second. With that said, you make do with whatever you have in life. And survivors do that. And Larry has always been an optimist, and I always will be an optimist. I always believe the glass is half full, not half empty. So always remember that. Anyway, everybody, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Check out the playlist. If you're new here, there are so many great videos in the playlist. The whole Gangster Redemption book series is one of the most watched series on YouTube. There's other videos in there and reviewing stuff and different movies and stuff like that. There's a lot we have in the playlist, and we're going to keep going because I have a whole list of stuff that when you guys give me, I put it on a list. Stuff from gaming to this, to movie reviews, to other stuff that people want me to look into, like stuff like this. So we're gonna keep doing it. I mean, I had a bad dream the other day, so I wanted to do something like this, and I'm glad I did. So thank you very much for that. Please subscribe. Please pass it on. Keep your notifications on. Thanks for your support. Much love. Much respect. Stay safe. Make a good choice today. Have a great day, everybody. See you Thursday.